Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Cave After Hours podcast. Here's your host, the one and only, the inimitable, Josh Havens.
All right, welcome back to the Cave After Hours podcast. This is our fan cave, man cave series. We talked before about what the regular series is going to be during the season, which is Bears talk and in-season talk, after-season talk, if anybody's being fired, the draft, free agency, you name it. That's our passion. That's what we're going to do. But in the off season, when there's not much going on, I'll be talking to some people that I know on Instagram, Twitter, and other social media networks and talk about their fan caves because there's a lot of dope ones out there. So that's what we're going to do. There's no passion more than mine than actually my cave. So let's talk to the people that have some pretty dope caves going on. All right, let's talk about our sponsor, the Mini Jumbotron Company. If you want your very own Jumbotron, go to their website, minijumbotron.com, and look at their different models, different sizes. Go anywhere from a basement to a pull barn. He's got all different kinds of sizes. So get over there, get you a mini Jumbotron like the cave has. I love mine. It's awesome. Really a head turner when people see that thing that wows them. So go over there, check one out. We do have a giveaway. Go to my social media, Bear Superfan 44. You'll find the post. We're going to have that coming up here soon. Actually, I'll pin that post tonight so you can see it. But also, if you want one and want to save some money, type in my code, the promo code, the cave, and you'll save 10% at checkout. And that's a lot of money. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes with it. So like I said, any sizes you need, they got you covered. So go check them out now. All right, our first guest for the Fan Cave series, I had to have him on. He's a good friend of mine, and he's got one of the most famous caves on Instagram. So that, in my opinion, I followed him for a while. He's a Packers fan, but I respect his cave. I mean, I don't have to like the team, but I still respect his cave because he's got a lot of work into it. And the place is awesome. So I met him about 4 years ago on Instagram. He came up here for a game. I've been to his house a couple of times for some games, and he invited me to Lambeau and got tickets to stay there. So, and I've seen a game, like I said, I've seen a game in Lambeau. And if you can ever get to Green Bay, that is an awesome experience, and one I'll never forget, actually. So hoping to go back next year and take that in again, maybe for a whole weekend this time. But without further ado, the man of the hour, straight from Ohio, the Drew Cave. How you doing, Drew?
What up, dog? You know, same old, same old.
Same old, same old? You down in the Drew Cave right now?
Yeah, man, you know, pouring me a little green and gold, liquid gold, that Woodson whiskey. You know how I do.
That Victory whiskey? So let's just get into this, man. So, I mean, everybody should know who you are. I mean, you've been all over social media. And
I don't know about that, dog. I don't know. But
you don't know. I got somebody the other day that saw me in the store and said, "Hey, are you the guy that knows Drew Cave in Elkhart, Indiana?"
You're a liar. I don't believe you.
I'm serious, bro.
Now you're just making stuff up, man. I don't believe you.
I wanted to wait till this came on to tell you that, but she's a Packers. She's actually a Packers fan. She works at a restaurant. Yeah, she works at a restaurant here around here. So she follows you.
That's wild, man. Up in Elkhart, Indiana, man.
Yes, sir.
It's my favorite city in Indiana.
So let's just get into it, man. So just tell us where you're from, man, and like, I guess how you got to Ohio, where you're at now.
So I mean, I guess a quick synopsis. Originally from Southern California, the IE area. For y'all that don't know, that's the Inland Empire, San Bernardino County. Grew up there, graduated high school, joined the military. That's how I ended up in Ohio. Long story short.
What branch of the military?
Oh, the United States Air Force, man. 20 years, active duty. Retired back in June of 2020, man. So it's been flying by, man. Just been having a good time ever since I retired. But yeah, you know, that whole portion of my life, man, that joint went like that.
Yeah.
Quick. Real quick.
Does it feel like it's been I guess like it's gone or it's like really far in the rearview mirror, or does it feel like you just retired? Or
bro, like I've brain dumped so much like military stuff. I mean, there's like things, man, like, you know, that's still, you know, I still wake up at like 0700, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's granted, before when I was active duty, I was waking up earlier, but like even sometimes like my friends are like, why you up so early? And
Mhm.
I just let them know I'm just a well-trained machine, man. That's
Right,
like
right.
that's my running joke right now, man. When people hit me up, why you texting me so early? Why you up so early, man? I'm a well-trained machine, man. I did it for 20 years, man. So,
Yeah.
but no, it doesn't seem like it was like yesterday, but it really feels like it was a long time ago, man. Because I brain dumped like so much stuff, but some of my brothers and sisters that are still serving, they kind of keep me in tune with what's going on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually was signed up for the Air Force as well. And about a month before I left, I was playing basketball and went up for a rebound and came down and blew my ACL out. And then right out the bat, couldn't go. Even if I had surgery, they're like, "Nope, you're disqualified." So
See, Josh, man, you need to change that story up, man. It's not that you went up for a rebound.
uh-huh.
You need to say you were on a break and your homeboy threw you a behind the head
Dunked it.
lob pass and you went up for the
Yeah.
alley oop and you caught that sucker and you went to reverse it. And then when you came down, like you made the dunk, the reverse dunk, but when you came down on the knee and the knee said, mm-mm.
Man, I've been
But
telling the wrong story all these years, man.
yeah, man, it's like, golly, man.
Did you play any sports in California at all? Like in high school or anything like that?
Yeah, growing up, man, it was like the typical, baseball. I was real big into basketball in high school. I played a little bit of football, but it's crazy, man, being a huge football fan now and like knowing so much of the game and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, like after like Pee Wee, man, like she did not want me to play football, man, like going into high school and stuff. So I stuck to basketball, even though I'm short in stature.
Uh-huh.
I had them handles, man. I had them handles, and that jumper stayed ready. It's ready
Really?
right now. Whoever
Right.
wants it, I promise you, the jumper stays ready.
Is
It's
that
on
close to
deck.
is that close to LA where you were at or no?
It's about an hour east. Yeah,
Okay.
it's more like that's why they call it the Inland Empire. It's more like it's off of I-10, but it's a little bit more inland. It's more deserty, if you
Uh-huh.
will. You know what I mean? So,
So
yeah, my parents are still out there. A lot of my cousins and all of them are still out there too. So,
okay. And I know I think you said your dad's a San Francisco fan. Is that
yeah,
right?
my dad is a San Francisco 49er fan. Yep.
Any bets going on this weekend?
Uh, it's funny, man. After we won last weekend against the Cowboys, I jumped on the phone with my dad and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, why don't you come out? Like, either let's go to the game. Like, I'll fly out to Santa Clara and let's go together, or you and mom come out." Hang out because like my sister stays out in Cincinnati. She's like an hour away from
Okay.
here. So like my nieces and nephews, my parents always love coming to see the grandkids. So it was kind of an excuse, two birds, one stone. But my dad he was all about it. My mom was all about it. I was looking up plane tickets. Granted, I was a little litty. I was a little
Uh-huh.
litty. I've been drinking a lot,
Right.
so, I waited. I'm glad I didn't buy the plane tickets and all that stuff that night because,
Right.
man, I'm over here just, I don't care. Let's do it. I'm all hyped and
Right.
stuff. And then the next day, my dad texted me. He was like, "Hey, I looked at the calendar. Your mom and my parents are a little bit older, so they had some doctor's appointments scheduled, so they couldn't make it happen. But
Gotcha.
so since then, my dad and we haven't really talked about any bets. We normally do, the traditional,
Oh yeah.
kind of like how you and I do, right? We
Right.
do the,
Right.
you got to throw on some Packer stuff or whatever. Luckily for me, I haven't had to throw on any Niner stuff because we haven't bet in the playoffs. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I think it's just something with my dad and I. Like, it's just so much at stake. We do it
Right.
during the regular season,
Okay.
without a doubt. We do it during the regular season. The last time, my dad he was actually down here. He had to throw on one of my Drew Cave jerseys. It was funny, man. He put a cheese head on and everything.
Oh yeah, I remember that picture.
My dad's a good sport, man. It's wild, man. And so many people when they saw that picture of my dad and I, they're like, "Man, your dad looks like Vince Lombardi." And I was like, "Damn, that fool does look like Vince Lombardi." But he really does, man. He's got
Yeah.
the little gap in the front teeth. He's got the glasses. He's
You need to get
he's
him the
just kinda got
fedora
that.
hat.
I
You got
know,
a fedora
man.
hat, the trench coat.
I know, man, for real. My dad, if he ever wanted to go out trick or treating at his old age, he could definitely pull that off, man.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
So I know the backstory of how you met your wife, but tell the people how it's pretty interesting how you met her and then where she's from.
Yeah, so Kelly and I, shout out Kelly, my beautiful wife. We were both very young airmen, man. I think I was 20. I got to Korea in 2002, so I was 21 at the time. I turned 22 when I first got there to Korea, and Kelly was fresh out of basic training and tech school, man. Fresh out of high school, she was 18 years old. We met, and we were just friends, man. We met in 2002. We were just friends there. We were stationed in Korea, and we kind of hung around the same group of friends, and you know one thing led to another. We just hung out and then we just started talking. Um, and yeah, we just kind of linked up and the big kicker, I mean, outside of her being, hot and smart and all that
Right.
stuff, she from Green Bay, Wisconsin. So,
Okay.
yeah, I pulled one of them baddies from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, and people be getting it twisted. They be thinking that it's nothing but a bunch of fat cheese eating, beer drinking,
Right.
chicks out there, and they all ugly and man,
Mhm.
some baddies, bro. But
Yeah.
I snagged the baddest.
Got
So,
the
but yeah,
baddest
man.
one.
Yeah, man, Kelly's like I said, she's originally from Green Bay. She graduated from Green Bay East, where the
Hmm.
Packers used to play there at City Stadium, where Curly Lambeau graduated high school from as well. So that, being a Packers fan, man, it's just ingrained in her. So
Right.
that was pretty dope, man. So
Is that how you became a Packers fan?
no, so like with me, so my fandom goes back to like when I was a kid. So I've told this story a couple of times. So with me being an army brat, my dad, well, my family were stationed overseas in Germany. This is, when I was actually able to comprehend what was going on, what sports I liked, and all that stuff. At the time, who was big in the early 80s? Who was the team in the early 80s that was just dominating? I mean,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It was the
Yeah.
Bears,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And my brother at the time, my brother's kind of bandwagon. I'll
Yeah.
He's probably never going to see this unless I send him the direct link, but I'll say it. My brother's kind of bandwagon. And at the time
Right.
he was kind of bandwagon, and it was just kind of one of those sibling rivalries, I guess, if you will.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what I was doing at the time because I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
But fast forward to like elementary school and like junior high, um, football, it was kind of, I mean, I played it, but I didn't follow it. Like, I mean, I, I don't know. It's really hard. I mean, I don't see a lot of kids even at that age where they're like really ingrained, unless it's their parents, right?
Right.
But then high school kind of hit and the whole thing with Brett Favre. So, I started following Brett Favre and all that stuff. But then once I joined the military, and getting a little, maturing a little bit more and really starting to know the X's and O's. I just kind of followed just like everybody else, man. That's my age. Followed that whole Brett Favre, good old boy, couldn't do any wrong, just out there playing backyard football type stuff. And then I will say that when I met Kelly and found out she was from Green Bay, and knowing at the time how hard it was to get tickets to games and
Hmm.
who would I didn't know anybody in Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then so when we kind of linked up and I talked to her and she was like, oh yeah, my family, we always get tickets. And I was like, what? Say what?
Sold.
Let me put a ring on that finger.
Right.
So
Right.
you know what I mean? So I mean I kind of make the joke that that Kelly kind of she kind of opened up the door, but I mean, she'll tell you, and anybody will really tell you, man. I mean, once she opened up that door, man, it's like I ran through that mug and just started,
Right.
just
We'll
became
go.
what it is, man. So yeah, it's been over, close to what 25 years now. So yeah,
Right.
so yeah,
Yeah. I mean, being a Bears fan, obviously I follow the NFC North when the cave is up and all the teams that are going. I'm usually try to have, especially on the Jumbotron, I try to get at least all the NFC North on one of the TVs, so I'm always keeping track of the Packers and all the other teams. And the Packers have a really rich history of some pretty good players going back. I mean, there's a lot of them I could name off, but who is your all-time favorite player for the Green Bay Packers?
Oh man, it's
There's a bunch. There's a
yeah,
bunch.
dude. Well, and that's the thing, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've gotten a couple of questions before where it's like, who, if you can go back and whether dead or alive, right? Um, who would you want to meet and all that stuff? And obviously, I'd want to have a conversation with Bart Starr,
Oh yeah,
just to kind of pick his brain because I think the general answer would always be, oh, I want to meet Vince Lombardi, right? But I don't know, I'd want to see it from Starr's point of view, but man, I'd say more modern day, if you will, is Donald Driver.
okay,
Just because I really, and it's not just about the stats. Yeah, I mean he killed it on the field, but for me it's more the person, and knowing what Donald did within the community when he was there and what he's still now, even being retired and removed, gosh, when did he retire? I forgot when he retired. I know it's been over 5 years though, because he's been up for the
right,
Hall. But just, I mean, he still comes back to Green Bay. He still gives back. He's still doing a whole bunch of charitable, things within the community. Like guys like him, Leroy Butler, some of the old school guys that are retired, man. I don't know, man. I gravitate towards that because for me, it's the whole person concept. You know what I'm saying? Where, they're not just being a football player, making a bunch of money and entertaining us. They're also showing, these punk ass kids these days, like how to grow up and be a good person within society,
right,
man. How to be a grown up, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
but yeah, like Donald Driver. I always admired Jordy Nelson because the couple of times that I got a chance to meet him, he was always, always really good with his time. But I'd say present, man. I really love what Kenny Clark and Aaron Jones do, especially Aaron Jones, man.
he
Just
kills
with
it.
not just on the field, bro, but just again, the whole community, the whole person
Right,
concept. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Just how much they give back to their communities and how good they are with their time. Um, but if I had to sum it all up, and this is probably me just being biased, just because of the relationship that I've been able to forge with him over the last couple of years. Uh, have to be that guy right there, man, Charles Woodson.
right,
Um, Dude is a stand-up dude, man. Every time I get a chance to interact with him, it's I anytime I get a chance to meet any of these guys, man, I don't try to act like a fanboy. I don't, try to corner them and talk a whole bunch of football stuff, man. Let's just shoot the shit. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, what are you up to these days? What kind of projects you got going on, man? Do you think you could still play if you wanted to? You know what I'm saying? What are you putting
Right.
up in the gym? How's the golf game? It's just things like that, man. And
Yeah.
I think when you have those conversations with those guys, man, they respect that out of you as a fan more than if you were trying to talk to them about some BS. And because they've heard it a million times, man. They've
Oh
had
yeah.
to they've had to explain that stuff a million times. So.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so if I'm being truthfully honest, man, it'd have to be that dude Charles Woodson, man.
It's a
And
dub.
hey, don't
Yep.
get it twisted though, man. Trust me, even though I can, I'm like I said earlier, I'm a well trained machine. So
Mm-hmm.
when I've been trained, obviously in my military career, you have to know how to present yourself, how to talk to people,
Right.
and all that stuff, right? So when I get a chance to be around them and really any of these guys, I'm on my P's and Q's. Again, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
fanning out and stuff like that. But trust me, inside, bro, there's been times, man, I'm like, oh my God, it's Charles Woodson, Hall of
Right.
Famer, arguably one of the best football players that ever played this game. He's
Right.
freaking talking to me. But on the outside, I'm like, oh yeah, for real, dang, dude,
That's
that's
real
what's
cool.
up. Yeah, that's wild, bro. Like just so having to differentiate, in that situation. But yeah, man.
Right.
So
Right. So I've been following you for probably, I'd say, 5 or 6 years. I remember maybe before that, I remember when you left Ohio, went to California for a little bit, and then came back
Yep.
to Ohio. So was the Drew Cave always in the works for like in your mind, like when you got your place in Ohio or wherever you were going to live, that you were going to have this just badass man cave?
Well, so did you start following me when I was in California?
Well, I want to. It was either right when you were in California or right before you left,
Okay.
because I remember the older pictures.
Yeah, man. I mean, really, the way this whole thing started. I mean, just to kind of take it back real quick. When Kelly and I, God, I want to say, because when we first got married, man, our first assignment after we got married, we were in Mississippi, where we lived in Gulfport, Mississippi, which is right around the corner from Kiln, where Brett Favre is from. Um, and when we were in Mississippi, man, like, we had a little 2-bedroom apartment, but the other spare room was kind of like our computer office, whatever. But we had a gang of Packer stuff up in there, so like that was like the start of the cave, if you will, you know what I mean? And then once we left there and we went to San Antonio, we had a whole nother room that we just, kind of, that was, where we put all of our Packer stuff, all of our military awards and all that stuff, you know what I mean? The me room, right? If you
Right,
will.
right,
Um, and then once we got orders from San Antonio up here, when we bought this house, when we were looking for houses, that was kind of mine and Kelly's like number one thing. We knew coming from San Antonio we got those orders in 2010. It was right. We left there a couple months after the Packers won the Super Bowl.
mm-hmm.
But we knew right then and there that when we were coming up here to Ohio, that we wanted to have a house with a basement and that we wanted to create a fan cave to host game days.
Right,
So we knew right off the rip, man, that when we were coming up here, that we were going to try to find a house with a good amount of space and that kind of worked within our budget. At the time, man, 2011, man, houses were okay price. We got this one on a steal.
oh yeah, not
But
no
yeah,
more.
man. So it all started, man, in really in 2011. That's why you see on my logo it says established in 2011, because we knew again from the jump that we wanted a house with a full basement that we were going to be able to convert into a fan cave to host game days, man. Because at our other spots in Mississippi, in San Antonio, we did the same thing, but it was just in our living room. You know what I'm saying? Like those spots, we didn't have basements. We couldn't have a dedicated, space. Like Kelly would let me put up, some pictures and stuff in the living room, but then as soon as the game was over, she was like, take that shit down.
Right.
So, but yeah, man. So yeah, when we came up here in 2011, we knew that we were gonna build this, and this was actually the basement was the first project that we did on this house, man. We bought this house in May. We closed on it in May of 11,
Mm-hmm.
and I hurried up and found some contractors, and we kind of laid everything out. And I told them, I said, hey, I need to have this basement done by Thanksgiving, November of 2011.
Right.
Because my parents were coming in and we were going to host a big Thanksgiving dinner and all that stuff. And yeah, it was up. We had already had, a bunch of Packer stuff that we had kind of just in the closet saving up. We started putting all that stuff up, and so yeah, man, it's been a while, man. 2011, we've been up and at it. So
okay, yeah. So as you know, in my cave, I'm a big TV guy. I got 11 TV. Well, I used to have 12, but 11 TVs, and now the projector. What are the stats of your cave? Like, what do you got going on TV wise? I know you got a projector and all that stuff.
let's see, the one in the bathroom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll end up having 13 once
Okay.
I gotta have 13, bro. 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, baby.
There you go. There you go.
No, it just kind of worked out that way. No, but once we finish that, the addition that we're doing right now, I'm doing 2 more TVs over there.
Okay.
I actually, I really don't even know what the hell I'm gonna do with that space, man. Really, I'm just doing it. You've been over here, man, so and I'm sure you go through the same thought process a lot of times when you have a gang of people over here, man. you know, and even at your spot, I'm pretty sure you feel bad, man, when you see people kind of like standing up and,
Right,
you know,
right.
and I'm just like, man, I want to have, even if they still stand up, I just want to still be able to have, to be able to provide, you know, our friends and family when they come over, a place to sit down if they want
Mhm.
to. Now, if they choose not to, hey, man,
Yeah,
those are your
yeah.
knees and your feet. You do whatever you want with them.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, right now it's only 11, but I'm adding the two 55s in that addition, so that'll be 13.
Okay, gotcha. What's your favorite piece in the cave that like
Man,
if you
look,
can live
dog.
without? Like
That's
you're never gonna sell that piece.
there's a lot of stuff in here, bro, that I
Right.
probably will have to will down to. We ain't got no kids, so it's probably gonna have to go to like my nieces and nephews. I
You're
mean,
right.
I don't know. I don't know. My nephews are gonna have to fight over it. My nieces, they could probably give two rips about it. But
Right.
I don't know, man. I have some unique pieces. Dude, there's a bunch of stuff in here, man, that I just wouldn't get rid of. I guess pretty much everything that's up right now, I probably wouldn't part with. But
Right. Is most of your stuff
um,
signed?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking around. I'm like, but
Because
no, just
you got some pretty rare stuff too.
yeah, I mean, you know, like obviously the pieces out of Lambeau Field, like the railing, the stadium railing that was used from 1957 to 2022. You
Right.
know, this big honking piece of metal. I mean, everybody, you know, there's haters out there like, what do you have a stupid piece of gate in there for? It's so dumb. I
Right.
could just
Yeah.
make that. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, really, came out of Lambeau Field, dummy. Um, but you know, like something like that, I probably would never get rid of. You know, my club seat that was ripped out in 2013 when they did the first renovations to add the upper level. You know, I have a club seat from Lambeau. Um, my God, man, my 3QB helmet that's signed by, you know, Rogers, Favre, and Starr. The new helmet that I just got, man, the exact replica of Rogers' helmet that he wears,
Right.
um, that you know has all the Super Bowl decals and everything, and that has the three inscriptions by him that you know, a lot of people are like tripping out. They're like, man, how did you get it? How'd you get your hands on that and stuff like that? And a lot of people always ask me too, and I'm sure they ask you as well. Like, where do you get all your stuff from? And you know,
Right.
where can I go get you know some of that stuff? I'm like, you know, it's like I just some people, man, they ask some funny questions, bro. But it's just like honestly, there's not like a Walmart for Packers sports memorabilia. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're just I mean, there's a couple of like card shops and memorabilia stores that I know of in Wisconsin that I would deal with, and I kind
Uh-huh.
of push them in that direction. But you know, people will send me stuff. Oh, what do you think about this thing I found on eBay and da 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 da? And you know, I've been duped out of stuff on eBay where I bought stuff and then come to find out, I was like, man, this is a piece of trash, man. Like
Right. Yeah.
I've had to wipe a couple of helmets because come to find out the signatures were bunk as hell. And
Phony. Yeah.
yeah, so like now, you know, now I just tend to deal with, you know, a couple of those sports card places that I know of, and then really just a couple of collectors, man. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you do the same. There's just a couple of collectors that I trust, that I don't mind, you know, dropping a couple $1,000s if I have to, if it's a rare piece. And I don't have any second thoughts about it. Like I don't feel, you know, I'm not worried about it because I trust these guys. You know, I've dealt with
Yeah.
them, and these are huge collectors within the hobby, and then obviously within you know just collecting Packers stuff. So
Right.
so yeah, man. But you know, really to boil it down, man, to that question, I don't know, dude. I really couldn't tell you, man. I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe the four Super Bowl trophies, even though they're replicas. I
They're cool
mean,
though.
yeah, I mean, you know, when I don't know, man. People always ask, where'd you get them? You know, how long you had them? And I'm like, man, I bought them joints in like, I think it was like 2012 or
Hmm.
2013. Like I've had these joints forever, bro.
Right.
And I see a lot of people doing it now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because the company now, the one that I know is pretty popular is Copy Trophy. I didn't even get mine from Copy Trophy. I got mine from
Right.
this company that's not even in existence anymore.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I don't know. It's really hard to boil down, man.
Yeah, you got so much cool stuff going on down there. It's like it's almost like a museum when I walked around there the first time.
But you know what though, Josh, man, I don't want it to be a museum, bro.
Right.
I want people. That's why I put the higher value stuff a little. I put it up higher. I don't put it low. You know what I'm saying? Because when people get drunk, they be bumping into walls and stuff. You know how you did last time you were here. You were all litty titty.
Yeah.
No,
too much of them shots.
I know, but no, I try to keep the vibe here, more of a sports bar feel. Yeah, I got some expensive stuff. You know what I mean? Granted, a lot of the stuff that's, really high dollar, it's behind glass and people haven't really gotten to the point where they've gotten that rowdy.
Right.
But that's the vibe I don't want to create, man. I don't want it to be where people feel like they can't touch anything, man. Hey, have a good time, man. If we throwing back shots, we throwing back shots. Just if you feel like you're going to tip over, sit your ass down.
Let me catch you.
You know what I mean?
That's how I am. Cause I don't have a lot of high dollar stuff in here. For one, it's a garage. It's not really climate control. We're not running the heat or the AC all the time. So it can get hot or cold.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's just, I've only had one TV go out in here ever. So thankfully for that. And it's all insulated. The row, everything's insulated. So it's always warmer in here than it would be outside or the other part. But I just don't trust having like really expensive things out here because of that. So mine's more like that same feel sports bar, either like B-dubs or whatever, wing joint or whatever. But
I've had a lot of people comment and they're just like, man, this dude has just a whole ass B-dubs at his house, or even like TGI Fridays like reached out to me, bro, and was just like, hey, place is dope, and I'm like, hey man, send some wings through, man. Shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I just had a restaurant. I had a restaurant in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is like 2 hours away. Wanted me to do an Instagram video for them and TikTok, and they were going to give me like this big meal and everything. But I was like, man, I don't think it's worth 2 hour drive just to get a free meal, a couple of drinks. So
I feel you.
But yeah, that's what I want to get to. That going along with the fact of, I probably already know what your answer is, but having a vibe or having like a cool experience for your friends is more important than, I think just sometimes even looks of it. It's just, that feeling when even somebody new comes over, you're like, and they just like in awe and like, wow, that's a better feeling than I guess sometimes collecting even for me.
No, yeah, you're 100% right, man. I've had people come over here and the first thing they do is pull their phones out, you know. And I know you've heard the song that my homeboy made for me, for the spot, but like, one of the first bars is, as soon as they walk in, they get amazed, type, and it's like, and that's really what it is, man. And trust me, when we're back here ripping shots and I'm pouring people, doubles and triples of woods and whiskey, and everybody's doing the taste test and everybody's having a good time, ain't nobody looking at like, oh man, look at this helmet, dude. I guarantee, bro, ever since I got that Aaron Rodgers replica Super Bowl helmet, not one person that's been over has asked me about it. Because it's over there, it's in the case, it's just chilling. You know what I mean? Unless I pull it out and tell them what it is, they probably wouldn't even know. You know what I mean? Because it is, I think we've created enough of a vibe down here where that's just the atmosphere, man, when people come through. But yeah, that is more for me. It's more enjoyable just for folks to have a good time. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of cool stuff, man, but it's really about just like you said, man, just having a good time, having friends and family over, and watching the Packers win, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And lose.
I got a Allen Robinson signed helmet over there, and I just got rid of a Mitch Trubisky one. But like you said, nobody goes around and asks each one like, who's that? They're just like, hey, it's cool, and move along. I did have one homeboy that used to come over here every freaking Sunday, man. Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been by as much, he's got family things and stuff like that, but his running weekly game that he would do every freaking week, he'd come. As soon as he sit down, he'd crack open his Busch Latte and just start looking around. And his game was what is new. He would always try to find something new, man. He was pretty damn good, man.
Was he?
He was pretty damn good. He called me out one time because I didn't have anything new.
Oh,
And he
really?
was like, everything's the
Disappointed,
same.
huh?
It's like, everything is the same. What's going on? Are you okay? And I'm just like, you know what I mean? So, but he was
Right.
like one of the only ones, man. But
Yeah.
everybody else, man, it's just, they come in, they take a bunch of pictures, they kind of try to soak it in, but it's so much, man. I mean, even at your spot, bro, like when I went there, it's just so much that by the time I'm like looking around, boom, it's game time.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And then, how we do, man,
Oh, yeah.
commercials, we're
Yeah.
over here ripping shots and all that stuff. And then, so yeah, but yeah, man, it's all about the atmosphere and folks having a good time
Right.
and just being hospitable, man, being a good
Oh, yeah.
host. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah.
So the Bears, we don't win often. We try, and sometimes we need a little more time to get the win, and the time runs out. So I got a segment called five quarters instead of four. So I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions, and just give me a quick answer, and we'll go from there. Okay. So what is Drew's favorite food to eat? Like if he's going to sit down and eat his favorite thing, what is it?
Lemon pepper wings.
Lemon pepper wings. Okay. And big shoe guy, what's a pair of shoes that you love that you probably won't wear because they're just too damn cool? Like your favorite pair.
I wear all my sneakers. I normally buy one to rock, one to stock. But favorite shoe of all time, Air Jordan 11 Concord.
Gotcha. Now, being in Ohio right now, would you ever consider moving to Green Bay full time?
No.
No. Okay. And if you had
maybe.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I mean, well, that's the thing. We have the house up there already, so
right.
But it'd have to be. I don't know, man. Those winters up there, bro. They hit
Brutal.
different. They hit different, bro. Yeah.
Sounds like Chicago winters are terrible there.
Yeah.
I hate them. Fourth question: if you could have one player, and we already probably talked about it, if you could have one player to the Drew Cave have a drink with, who would that be?
Charles.
Exactly. I figured that. And the hardest question of all, because I know you're a big golf guy. If you had to give up golf or the Packers, which one would you?
Mother.
I saved that for last.
Oh man. Wait, what? Yeah, I give up golf, bro.
Give up golf because Packers. You can't give up the Packers, man.
I can't. So, nope.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be one day, bro. There's going to be one day when I'm super old and my back is done and my knees is done and my elbows are done and I just can't even swing the club anymore. It's just pointless. Even if I play from the uppity Cat Williams tee box, it's just useless for me to even play. It's going to get to that point.
Right.
But I can still sit down and watch the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
bro.
Do you lay in bed on your last leg?
Now you didn't say I couldn't watch golf. I just couldn't play,
watch it.
Right?
Yep.
Okay,
right.
Well, yeah, golf. I would give up golf. Yeah.
You watch golf? I mean, do you watch a lot of golf too?
Absolutely, bro. Upstairs right now, I actually have it's the American Express. They're playing out in La Quinta, California right now. So my man Ricky Fowler's in the tournament, so I'm just kind of poking around. Today's the first round, so
right.
Yeah.
So I want to get into the game this weekend. The Packers whipped Dallas's ass last weekend. It was pretty embarrassing for them. I know I got some Dallas friends around here, so I had to shoot them some shit. And I was like, we only lost by 8 points to Green Bay, and y'all got blown out. So yeah, just going into this game this weekend, what do you think about the game against the 49ers?
Look, man, I'm not a predictor. And I hate these trolls, bro, that we get on our social media. Just they just say shit just to say it. I mean, they just wake up just choosing to be hateful and I get it, bro. The Niners are the number 1 seed, right?
Right.
Brock Purdy ain't played football in what?
Few weeks,
what they say,
right?
like 21 days or something like that?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
I think if anything, he will probably be their, I don't want to say weakest link, but he's the one that we just got to rattle. You know what I mean? There was this whole thing, I know you've seen it on social media, about what Mark Chmura had said yesterday. Yeah. And the media is just blowing it so out of context, man. And I was like scrolling through comments and all these freaking whack jobs. They're bringing up his past. Like, what are you guys doing right now, man? He made a comment. He didn't say, if people actually go back and listen to that comment, he didn't say anything about hurting Brock Purdy. He didn't say anything about intentionally, hitting him to the point where they would have to get him out of the game.
Right.
Nothing malicious, man. It was more of like if you really break it down, man, from what I gathered from it, he was just talking about going out and setting the tone.
That's what I got from it.
Letting the Niners know that, hey, you guys have smacked up on us the last 4 times in the playoffs. And every single time, even the year that we had the number 1 seed and they came in and beat us at Lambeau, it was all about their defense and about how, because they walk out with that stupid big ass boom box and, they set the tone, right? Like they just, they're just ready. And with the Niners mindset, it was like, we're here and we're going to be here and we're going to smack you in the mouth. And I think that's what that's what he was alluding to. But everybody, this soft ass society that we live in now, man, everybody took it out of context. Oh, they want to hurt. The Packers want to hurt Brock Purdy. They want to hurt him so he's out of the game. They're dirty. Not once did he say anything about hurting that man, bro. He just said, put a lick on him because it's football, bro. He said to hit him. He said to hit him. That is a fundamental tactic about football. You hit somebody. Right?
You gotta rattle the cage.
Rattle the cage, bro. And if you get a 15-yarder, guess what? You set the tone. They even I forgot who it was I was listening to, but they made the example of like in basketball. I don't know if you watch a lot of basketball, but a lot of times in a situation, it's good for a coach to get a technical foul, or it's good for a coach to tell one of his players, hey, hit them with a hard foul, get a tech, don't hurt them, but hit them with a hard foul, get that tech, and set the tone. Slap them in the mouth and let them know that we ain't going nowhere, right? And honestly, bro, I think that's exactly what we have to do, man. Like coming into this game, it's the Niners to lose, bro. It really is, dude. It's the Niners to lose, and and it's really weird, bro. It just hit me earlier in the day when I was thinking about it, when I was going back and listening and this is the thing too, man. Like I listen and watch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every single morning. Like it's one of my favorite programs, right? And then right after that, it's followed by Wildy and Tausch on ESPN Milwaukee. And so I know how they talk on that show. So I went back and I was listening to them, and it just kind of hit me when they were talking about how the Niners have, obviously owned us, and they owned us during the Rodgers era, right?
Right.
It always seemed that since we had Aaron Rodgers, we should have always won those games, right? It was always the Packers to lose, even though the Niners were maybe either coming in hot or that they were the more aggressive team or whatever. It was always, well, the Packers have Aaron Rodgers. They should win. So it was always ours to lose. Right now, bro, roles are reversed, man. It's not ours, it's the Niners to lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there are people already, you look at everybody's picks, bro. Niners. Everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I saw that,
Everybody. Niners. Which is, hey, bro, it's great, man, because it's exactly what happened last week. I'm not saying that history is going to repeat itself, but all these folks that are trying to be predictors and, oh, yeah, it's already, yeah, man, you guys are done, blah, blah, blah.
I want to catch you guys out. Yeah, I mean, an outsider looking and watching you guys, I can tell something special there. It kind of reminds me of the Bears in 2018. I think we had a chance to go to the Super Bowl that year if it wasn't for that damn double doink. That moron. I don't want to bring that up, but it reminds me of that team, man. It was you guys have turned it on lately, and the defense have got it back together. And I don't know if you guys are injured or what, but I mean the defense looked bad for a while, but you guys are getting there now, and you see how those young guys are gelling with Jordan Love, and I don't think that was the case with Rodgers. He seemed like you get frustrated with those guys, and if your quarterback's getting frustrated with you and you're getting down on the sidelines, you're not going to perform well. But these guys are all in it with Jordan Love, in my opinion, just looking on the outside.
I had made that comment in the off season. I think it was to my homeboy Brent. We were talking about it or whatever, and that was one of the things that during the transition from Rodgers to Love. How was his team going to respond to Jordan Love? And him and I both, we were just like, man, like they just seem like they all just kind of get along. Not saying that
Right.
Rodgers didn't get along with his teammates, because I know he did, but he wasn't one of the guys.
Right.
He was Aaron.
Age gap.
He was Aaron fucking Rodgers, bro. Like it's the same shit that happened with Brett Favre, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Brett Favre was on his way out, a lot of those younger kids, man, they were just looking at him like, man, that's the legend. It's the same thing with Rodgers, man. You know what I mean? Whereas like now with Jordan Love, bro, Jordan Love has just, exceeded every expectation.
Oh, it's crazy
This year. And it's not even, for me, it's not even from just recent when we went on this, when he got on this hot streak. Even the first couple of games of the season, man, like, yeah, we started out 2-1 and then we ended up 2-5. But even in those losses, like, yeah, I was critiquing him. I didn't like how he was throwing off his back foot. I didn't like how he was leaving a little bit of air under the ball when, when you saw a pass, it shouldn't have been floated. It probably should have been drilled, but it's things like that. But I saw like little things like, man, he's gonna be all right. He'll figure it out. I just didn't know he was gonna figure it out this damn quick, man.
No, me neither, man. It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And I am so happy that we did it again.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, Josh, but we did it again.
You might have, and this is why I tell Bears fans, because Bears fans are freaking out about it and everything else. I don't care, because that's what's going to make you better. Because if you don't step up your game to try to match that, then you ain't going to be. We're not going to be nothing. We're not going to be shit. So this pushes our general manager, our owner, and whatnot to strive to get better. Because if you're not chasing greatness, what are you chasing? Chasing your own tail? I mean,
yep. And I think that's going to be the message. I think that's going to be the message from LaFleur and the staff there about this Saturday's matchup. Because the Niners, dude, they are great, bro. They've always been a great organization. They're always in the mix. Granted, they did have a lot more down years than we have had as of recent, but some way, somehow, that front office, they get it figured out. And Kyle Shanahan right now seems to be a genius. And that's just been our nemesis, bro. Like, for us in the 90s, it was Dallas. And then, like, since then, it's really been the Niners, man. Like, I was looking at the stat, man. We haven't beat them in the playoffs since 2002.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, 2002, man. So it's like, damn, like,
it's
crazy. And
how many matchups is that?
The last 4, I think there was 5. We've lost 4 out of the last 5. And in the last 4, we had Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
So hopefully this team, man, they can come in and kind of just go balls to the wall, man. Just kind of like how they did with against Dallas. And to be honest with you, man, I think Dallas has a better offense. Granted, I know they have a lot of weapons with the Niners, and and Debo and Ayuk and obviously Christian McCaffrey, but they could be held in check. I mean, Dak, he probably had I don't know why he's not getting more of a nod at the MVP. I know it's probably going to be Lamar Jackson, but Dak had a hell of a year, and what he did with CeeDee Lamb. I felt like Dallas, they have a better offense than the Niners, and I know the end score of the Dallas game was a lot closer, but that game was not that close.
Right.
At one point in time it was 27-0. At one point in time it was, what was it, 40? It was 48-16. So yeah, those garbage yards and garbage points, it's just kind of like, so our defense, man, I know everybody, including myself, we're all on this, fire Joe Barry, get him out of here mid-season, even late in the season. I think it was after the Carolina loss. We were like, get him the hell out of here, blah, blah, blah. But hey, man, I'll be the first one to say it, man. That dude went in there and he schemed up those last couple of weeks. He schemed up that defense, and that defense has been pumping, man.
Oh yeah, looking real good.
So I don't know what's going to happen with Joe Barry in the future. Obviously, I'm just a fan, but I know there's a lot of fans out there that what if the Packers? What if they beat the Niners? What if they mess around and make it to the Super Bowl? You think Joe Barry will come back? And I was like, I don't see why they wouldn't. But
Right. Yeah.
there's so many fans though, man, that just want him gone.
Man, no
So
matter what. So
yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be we're not gonna get blown out. Um, do I think we could win? Hell yeah, I think we could win. I
yeah.
think Jordan Love's a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. The way Aaron Jones is running the ball right now, and with Christian McCaffrey with this calf that he's been nursing since the Washington game.
Right.
I know he's still going to be explosive, but I mean, look at what Aaron Jones has been doing.
Right.
Our offensive line, man, our whole turnaround, bro, has been as soon as our offensive line got healthy and those guys really figured it out. Everybody all the way down to Josh Myers, because there was at one point in time in midseason, everybody was like, man, Josh Myers, it's like he doesn't know how to play football.
Right.
And as soon as our line figured it out, bro, we just been clicking, man. So
Yeah.
I mean, our line is doing really well, man. I mean, obviously you've seen what our receivers have been doing.
What I hope it doesn't come down for you is
Anders Carlson. I hope Anders Carlson doesn't have to kick a damn field goal, man. Yeah, man. The kid, I still don't understand it. Granted, yeah, Mason Crosby missed some kicks for the Giants or whatever, but he was also on ice for 15 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about Anders, man. I mean, I'm not a scout. I'm not a GM. So obviously Gutekunst, he saw something in this kid that a lot of us haven't seen, and we still haven't seen it. But just the missed extra points, the missed field goals, the kickoffs that aren't even getting to the goal line. Like, what does this kid have enough leg? Like, that's my thing. And there's been a lot of times where I'm like, the whole operation is jacked, bro, because like the ones that he's missed, I've seen where that snap is up here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just that little millisecond where, if the snap's up here and he's got to,
gotta wait.
Danny Williams got to get it down, and then it's a push, right? Or it's a hook. But I think it was the one against Dallas that he missed that extra point. I watched that one. That was a perfect snap, perfect hold. Just pushed it right. Just fucked it to the right, dude. Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I hope it doesn't, man, because I don't know, man. When Mason Crosby was there, bro, I was just like, oh man, it's ball game. It's ball game. Right. Now it's kind of like, but hey, man, if it does come down to that, hopefully the kid comes through and drills it right. Drills it right down the middle, man. So I know you'll be wishing it doesn't go down the middle, but
I got like I told you, I got some San Fran people I'm not real fond of either, so it can go either way. For me.
There's a bunch. They just come out the woodworks, man.
Oh, I know, yeah.
You don't ever say anything about these folks, man. Just all of a sudden they come out the woodworks, man. Just want to bump their gums on some BS, man. And I'm just like, all right, buddy, have a good life.
Definitely be watching though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what else you got to do, bro?
Exactly. Well, I want to thank you for coming on my first one, and I know some of my Bears people, because I heard a couple of weeks ago I did a live with Frank after the game, and I'm getting a little hate mail like, why you talking to a Packers player? Look, you don't have to like the team to like the person. I love Frank. I love Drew. I went to Green Bay last year. Was it last year? I think I went last year.
I think it was last year. Yeah, last year.
And man, I had a blast. Everybody was nice. I had one problem with a drunk guy in the bathroom. And then he saw how big I was when I came out the bathroom, and he backed off. So I mean, I wanted the OG people like Drew, who we look up to, with the dope fan caves. I got ideas from him. The reason I got the cave on the back of my jersey was because of him, because I got tired as well of buying jerseys that these guys leave the team.
Telling you, man.
And what do? I mean, you got to throw your shit away. So. But I'm going to thank you for having me on, man. Yeah,
for sure, man. And I know we got to wrap it up, but yeah, it's one of the things, man, is just, with all this stuff, man, like, even though we cheer for different teams, and even us with having the rivalry, man, it's like you said, man, it's like, you don't have to like the team, but, if the person is somebody that you fuck with, then, why can't you be friends, man? I got a lot of friends that are opposing teams, right? But with you and I mean, over the years, man, I know like you said, we've bounced a lot of ideas off of each other. But at the same time, when we do that, we're always quick to shout out each other. You know what I mean? And I think that's where some of this, a lot of these fan caves that are starting to pop up now that you're starting to
Yeah.
see a lot of.
Dude, there's a lot of Green Bay ones, man.
Yeah,
I never realized that.
there is a lot of them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I
crazy.
see it, and I see a lot of the Drew Cave in a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
those setups, right? But that's the
Yep.
thing, though, man. Like you and I and a couple of the other homies that we bounce ideas off of. I'm always the first one to show love and to
Right.
to let folks know, like, hey, shout out to Josh for this idea. Shout out to my boy Joe with Joe's Pack Shack, for putting me onto this,
Yeah,
whatever. Just showing love because like we all kind of bounce everything off of each other, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been seeing a lot, man, been popping up, and even non-Packers ones, man. I've been seeing a lot of non-Packer
Yeah.
ones that have been popping up that kind of emulate,
Kind of looks similar.
yeah, look a lot
Some
similar
things look
with,
similar.
with less trophies and
Yeah,
obviously
definitely.
less of a vibe, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, the
Yeah,
only thing I'd say, man, is just you pay your dues, man. Pay your respect to the folks that you're biting shit off of, because
exactly.
when because you would hate if it was being done to you.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I get it. Nobody's original, right? But if you're the first one that puts it out, and all of a sudden you just start seeing stuff, and you don't even get a shout, and especially when you tell these people, like when they DM you and they
Right.
ask you straight out, and you give them the information, and even give them a plug with a discount code or your personal connect, and then you
Right.
go and use that, and then it's just like crickets. I don't know, man. To me, it's borderline disrespectful, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, man. But
Yeah, actually, I think it was maybe the last game, but had a really cool guy. He just said he never talked to me before, but left one comment in my DM, said, "I'm a lifelong Bears fan, and thank you for making the season interesting. Because without you, I was going crazy, but I enjoyed watching your content." So I thought that was pretty cool because I was like,
oh yeah,
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 so
for sure, bro. And that same thing with me. Like you were saying earlier, how especially like on the mini jumbotron, right? Shout out mini jumbotron. But how you always try to keep an NFC North game on, right?
right,
I do the same thing, but it's kind of hard to watch the Packers and the Bears if
yeah,
they're playing at the same time, blah blah blah. But I would always any time, bro. And it's crazy because as much as you and I interact on social media, you're the first story that pops up. Like if you do something, bro, like you pop up like right away.
right,
Like you're the so I always click on it, and it's you,
right,
talking about this, that, and the other, what you guys are gonna do. So it's like I almost feel like I know more about the Bears, what's going on with the Bears right now, than some Bears fans do, bro,
right.
because
I'm sure, yeah,
because I watch your content. See, and that's one
right,
thing I don't do, man. I don't get on there and talk a lot about the organization, and because there's so many Packer fan pages and
right, yeah,
informational pages. I'm not that guy, bro.
right.
I'm just here to watch the Packers, give my opinion on what's going on sometimes, and have a tasty beverage, and just get litty titty city down here, man.
Right.
Just a
Well,
vibe, bro.
yeah, I want to end it. I know you got some shout outs to give. You kind of mentioned Mini Jumbotron. Want to go on that? Well, you shouted out your wife first of all,
Of
the
course,
lovely
bro.
wife.
Got
Yeah.
to.
Then so who's
Yeah.
your other sponsors you got going on?
Also shout out my dog Jordy
Yep.
Jordy the Boxy. So yeah, make sure you follow Jordy the Boxy. But no, yeah, shout out to Woodson Whiskey, man, the whole Woodson Whiskey fam. Obviously Charles, my boy Jay, everybody down the line, man, for putting me on and let me be a little brand ambassador. I just drink it a lot and do a lot of taste
Right.
testers with people, but
I still need
everybody
my
that's
bottle.
yeah, I know, dude. I know. I was supposed to bring it to you, man.
That's all right.
I have it
I'll
here,
get it.
dude. I
I'll get it.
promise.
I'll get it.
But yeah, man. Just shout out to them for bringing me on that journey of growing the brand, man. It's been amazing. And then my homeboy Marlon with Bayou Dog Chili. I'm telling y'all, man. I don't care where you're from, man. I don't care if you're from New Orleans or Texas, or who else always claims that they got really good chili? Kansas City, I don't know, bro.
Right.
Wherever. I know in Cincinnati they got Skyline chili, bro. All trash compared to Bayou Dog chili. I'm
Are
telling
they from
you,
Louisiana?
man. No, man.
Oh.
He perfected this recipe, and it has a hint of that,
Cajun?
that New Orleans type of vibe. But he's from the Inland Empire, man, out in California, man.
Okay. Is he a Packers fan too?
He's a Packers fan. He's an Air
Okay.
Force veteran. But I'm telling you, man, I don't think you got a chance to try it at the game last year. I don't know if we had it because it was hot, so I don't know if we had the chili there. But I'm gonna try and get you a batch, man. I'm telling you,
give me some of that. I want to try that.
Oh my god,
I did a little review on it.
It is for me, bro. Like it's perfect. It's got the right amount of spice, but the flavors, I mean, it's not watery. Like it's just amazing. Shout out Bayou Dog. I'm telling you, man, go follow him, Bayou Dog, on Instagram and all that stuff. And then, yeah, man, finally, man, our big homie, man, with Mini Jumbotron. I was fortunate enough to get one, and with that came a lot of the promo and kind of just making that content to show it off and to let people know that and especially with mine, with having the Nanotron, with my space and having a basement and 8-foot ceilings, nobody had it yet, so Mike kind of made me the guinea pig and we got it up and pause, but it's up and there's an inch of clearance from the ceilings. I mean, you got more than enough clearance, man. But I love that thing. That's one of the pieces when people see it, they're just like, "Holy shit, you got a mini Jumbotron!" I know people do the same thing when they walk into your house, man. Yeah. But yeah, shout out Mike for putting me onto the team and yeah, if you need one of those, if you want to get like Josh and I, holler at Mini Jumbotron, man. Go and use one of our codes. And if you use mine, I'll split it with Josh. And if you use Josh's, he should split it with me. But
let's do it.
But yeah, man. Shout out to the sponsors.
This episode.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the sponsors, man. For real.
Yeah, he's real cool. I was like, because he just offered the 10%. I've been I had that one video go viral, and I had a bunch of people asking about it. So I was just saying, hey, look this up, and then they DM me, and then I was actually giving them your code because I didn't have a code.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I gotta send you some dough, man.
No, don't worry about that, man. No.
I just gotta get you your bottle.
Yeah. Then Mike was like, hey, I want to sponsor you too. I was like, heck yeah. So then I asked him, I said, hey, doing this podcast, and I'm just trying to do something a little different. And I asked him if like, hey, you already gave me the 10%. I just shout you out at the beginning of this show every time. And he's like, yeah, let's throw a Mini Jumbotron in and give it away too. I was like, man, that's really cool. I didn't even ask for that or anything. So he just offered that up.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. I think he's originally from around where I'm from too.
Is he?
Yeah, like a couple exits up, I think from Redlands, California. I know he lives out in Arizona now, but yeah, man, one of these days, man, we gotta link up with him, man.
Yeah,
we should bring him out for a Packers Bears game.
That'd be fun, Green Bay.
Yeah.
All right, man, I appreciate it, and thanks for coming on. And yeah, we'll talk to you again here soon, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Hey, you already know, dog. Go Pack, go.
All right, that wraps up our first Fan Cave episode. Thanks, Drew, for coming on. Go give him a follow on Instagram or Facebook. He's on there. Also, follow the Cave After Hours podcast on our Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and Instagram. So, again, we got Mini Jumbotron. Go get to the giveaway. Got a little more time to get in, get that prize on Super Bowl Sunday. Also, 10% off if you don't win. Get you one anyways coming up. So, as always, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and bear down.